In the Unresolved Problems segment tonight, as we've been reporting this week, the Muslim Brotherhood is a radical Islamic group that could possibly fill a power vacuum if it exists in Egypt. But you'd never know how potentially dangerous they are if you listen to some in the media.
The Brotherhood lived by the gun long ago, but in recent years has become much more moderate, moved away from violence, and toward providing social services through Islamic charities.
The Muslim Brotherhood is telling the army that it can be a reasonable, rational organization. I did an interview tonight with one of the senior leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood. He was telling me to tell the American people that the Muslim Brotherhood can be reasoned with, wants to be a player, isn't a radical group.
There does not seem to be a theocracy in the making here. The Brotherhood, even the Muslim Brotherhood, does not have the aspirations of the Iranians to create a kind of Islamic state.
Yeah, they're fine. Interestingly, the Muslim Brotherhood claimed today that they have no ambitions to run for the Egyptian presidency. With us now to analyze the jihadist threat, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, the president and founder of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. I'm sitting there watching this stuff, and I'm just howling laughing, because with such a definitive stance, journalist after journalist comes forward, oh, this is all overblown. They're basically just people like us, and they want a peaceful I mean, it really drives me nuts. Dr. Jasser, tell us the facts, what we know today about the Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, I'll tell you, these comments, I mean, you listen to them and you realize that they're just delusional. They don't really, many of our families came to this country that has this beautiful Establishment Clause, Bill of Rights, and Constitution because he talked about a moderate. There is no moderate Muslim Brotherhood. There is no moderate political Islam because they don't believe in universal human rights. They believe in a theocracy. It's all about an idea of the Islamic State, of having government run by Islamic law and Sharia. They may be nonviolent in some of their permutations, but almost every radical sect in the world that uses political Islam, from Al-Qaeda, Islamic Jihad, Jamaat Islamiyya, all of them have come out of the Muslim Brotherhood movement of political Islam, and at the end of the day, it's supremacist. If we look at Imam Awlaki, who stimulated Nidal Hassan to kill our own soldiers. He started out supposedly as a moderate imam in Northern Virginia and slowly slid into that continuum of political Islam to become the greatest jihadist threat to our citizens.
Dr. Jasser, do you think the Obama administration has been clear in its statement about what this universal accord of human rights, what we really believe in? Because Islamism does not countenance minority rights, rights for Coptic Christians, any religious minority, because, of course, it believes that the Quran is superior and that dying in the name of Allah is the greatest of aspirations. That is in the Muslim Brotherhood's creed. And yet we're sitting here thinking, oh, they're just another voice, and if they're a seat, having a seat at the table, then that's okay. To me, that is such a dangerous level of ignorance, not only in our media, but in our political system. It
really misses exactly what we're fighting. And this is where we need truly somebody like Reagan who understood how to frame the ideology we're fighting, call evil evil where it is, but then move forward with helping those that are on our side. And I think this is one of the things that we need to realize, is that we need a president and a leadership that is able to identify the people and the ideas that we will stand behind and how we will help the secular Democrats, because we also can't be on the side of Mubarak or the Asseds or the secular fascists in the Middle East, because that environment is what created this radicalism. And in order to step forward, we may end up taking a few steps back in order to finally help the Muslims in the world, that I think the majority of which don't want to live under theocracy, don't want the Brotherhood running the show. And the last thing they need, Laura, is the West helping prop up the Brotherhood as somehow the de facto representatives of Muslims, like actually many of the front groups in America are propped up by some of our government, and that are actually Brotherhood ideologues that we really need to stop doing.
All I know, Dr. Jasser, is that we can't identify a singular secular leader on the ground in Egypt today. And I don't know if we've done the groundwork that we needed to do leading up to this, because we knew this was an unstable situation. The CIA warned the Obama administration of it back in November and December of last year. This situation's untenable. And so the only group we keep referring to is the Muslim Brotherhood. Who else is out there? What are the other voices? I'd like to know who they are, and it would be nice if we had a sense that this administration was really doing that hard work behind the scenes to foster that secular understanding.
Well, Laura, we can't overestimate how hard this work is. Families like mine escaped Syria or Egypt in the Middle East in the 60s to escape this environment. The intelligence operation in Egypt is extremely deep and penetrating. These people don't want to leave the streets because if they go back and Mubarak's thugs are still in charge, they will disappear within a few weeks. So at the end of the day, there's going to need to be a transition process where we have the UN, which has been missing in action, or somebody go in there to try to have a transition to where we can see secular changes, secular leaders emerge organically, much like we did in the Ukraine and Poland, and then even after World War II with Japan and Germany. This is a long battle ahead, not a short-sighted one, but a long one.
Now, the idea that this is all going to happen instantly, I mean, you need an independent judiciary, you need a free press, you need a representative government, and you need trusted institutions. None of that exists right now. So we need transition now. Well, as a lot of other people have been saying, be careful what you wish for. You don't know what's coming up down the road. But Dr. Jasser, we always appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.